That's how you invite somebody to your party. Then you get into the different, if you scroll down
What
here,
the actual main menus are probably one of the most important factors in a game to me. However, it seems to have been, lately, a bit shitty. A main menu is the introduction, the cover, the shell of the game when you boot it up. The whole point of a menu, bare bones minimum, is to bring accessibility with its user interface, the UI for short. This is the thing that separates starting off a game with menu buttons and starting off the game with, let's say, like a Commodore 64.
One hour later.
Load $.8, run, load unassigned.8, run, load Duke Nukem .2187, run. Oh, what the fuck? Thus, menus. Add a JPEG or a character in idle animation, get a song or ambience playing, perfect. If done right, it also gives you the feel, the vibe of what you're getting into before hopping in the game. But as much as I love a menu, I will admit, after a while of playing a game, like everybody else, we just skip the menu immediately and get right into the game as soon as possible. And you know what? No problem, I totally get it. But let me ask you something. Have you ever gone back to an old game you haven't played in years? And when you boot up to the menu after so long, you get some sort of overwhelming nostalgia? A familiar image that has burned into both your TV screen and mind. Now, the reason why I'm making this video is because in trying to remember the Dead Space remake game, it sounds crazy, but it's like almost a blur to me now. Not only that, but I actually remember the old Dead Space more, even though I haven't played it in years. And looking back on it now, I realized that there was no main menu in the remake, like at all.
Whoa, there's no main menu. So weird. Huh. I don't know if I like that.
But without a main menu, I didn't have that ingrained visual to remember the game by. For that reason alone, I would like to bring up video game menus today. However, in looking for examples in modern day games, I actually found a big, very big, super big, extremely big issue. The death of video game menus. And I've been meaning to make this video for like a while, like a long time, and I'm so excited to finally get into this topic. And before we start off, a direct message to you, the viewer. Thank you for watching. Let's start off on the obvious. Something that I can't believe I have to cover for menus.
Accessibility in video games. How do some people not know how to make a menu?
Now, accessibility is going to be a no-brainer for people, but a tragic event occurred that, you know what, I think it's better to just show it than to tell it. Let's bring up the old Modern Warfare 2. Okay, now, look at this. Easy to read. Music getting you ready to commit a war crime. What a classic. Oh, makes me want to commit one as well. You see the three things. You go to what you want, you get to what you want. Now, let's see the new Modern Warfare 2. Okay guys, I know everyone might not have 20/20 vision, but even if you were to put this menu in Braille, I think you could still see that the shit has gone bad. Nothing is wrong here, and there was no need to change. But somewhere along the line, we get these fiends taking up a menu's real estate. Instead of offering a menu to access the game, it went the opposite direction, and suddenly it turned into Sudoku. How much stuff are you gonna put on the menu? You gonna put merch on the side? Maybe a little Grubhub ad in the corner. Accessibility is extremely important. That's literally the whole point of a menu. And if there are videos trying to explain how to navigate the menu on YouTube, I don't know guys, but I think somebody might have shat the bed. It is something that should not be hard to mess up. And however, MW2, I don't have a clue how they messed up that bad, but they did. And in a way, it's actually pretty impressive, so I give props to that. I'm sure I don't have to bring a good example to show you guys what a simple menu should be. Even a shite shovelware game can still get the basics down. Even if the game runs like this. So the main menu should be simple, but maybe not too simple, as in like nothing to show at all. Sorry From Software, but Jesus Christ, not even a JPEG? Which goes on to my next topic of a menu. On top of a menu, you would want to make it look pretty, right? Well, I hope so. And so for that, you would need
ビジュアルデザイン I love it when a game doesn't look like shit. They took my eyes, they ripped my eyes out, I only see the void.
Visual design is a must-have. Anyone can make a menu. Well, most people can make a menu, but when it comes to making it look presentable, that's actually quite difficult. Let's start off with some good designs on menus to cleanse the palette a bit. Persona 5! God damn, did they have to go that hard? Beautiful music, beautiful transitions, beautiful, whatever the hell 80 of this is, and like, dude, there's like no straight line in this menu. Everything is stylized to that point. This example shows off, quite literally, the definition of an art design front and back, an eye candy of a menu. It's like they brought Picasso just to do the UI in this game. Now, let's go on to our next example. Halo 3 menu. Now the Halo 3 menu, I don't use it for the art itself, but rather the visual direction of the menu that it decides to take with these vast panning scenery shots of this empty, deteriorated desert. It sets a tone, an image in your head with the music, ambient sounds like the distant thunders. I bring this example because while it isn't as snazzy as like Persona 5's menu, this menu simply having a visual direction, a visual goal to send the message across to players is as effective, if not more in certain cases. Art direction or art style, you cannot go wrong with either of them. But even if you don't have much to offer on a menu, you could still make an impact to the player. Even if it's simple and clean, one might say. Okay, that sucks. Alright, I just like the Kingdom Hearts menu a lot. Makes me want to cry every time I boot it up. And now that we've had our good examples, I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye. Bad art designs for menus, I mean, it can go either one or two ways I've seen. First one, it could just be like a meh design, you know? Simple menu, simple design. A look that is more so done by the books just to have it like ready for launch. Slap a character on it, slap some music that doesn't really match. And I mean, it doesn't end up bad, thank God, but it's just so-so. Like, yeah, here it is. The menu. .jpeg. The other situation is when it gets a little too ridiculous with the art direction. One example in particular, Dead Space 3. To explain this further, just take a look at the screen and just see how long it takes to get to continue or matter of fact, any part of the menu.
Oh my god, I hate this main menu. It's too anime. It's like Spider-Man shit.
Was it necessary to do all of this special effects just to turn off VSync? When you got something good, allow players to skip through when they can, and at least make it easy on the eyes. While bad menu designs can be a snorefest or a chore, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but there's something even worse than these bad menus. The ones up next are actually not menus, but a disease that has infected gaming as a whole. There are two types of menus that have sprouted about like viruses. And also, Sprotten is not even a verb. Matter of fact, it's a village from England, but it sounds like a verb relating to like an illness spreading. So yeah. Comment if you're from Sprotten. So many games now have adopted these new quote-unquote visual designs, when really they should just, you know, visually cease. The first one we've been seeing really, but taken to the most bland direction possible. Let's bring up the first Doom remake menu. Now, what's the design here? What is this getting me ready for? Now, am I fighting demons of hell? Or am I scrolling through what's new on Hulu? Why is it that the design here was to put like 80% of the screen to have these Hulu boxes? It's just so strange to see this on like a menu. Speaking of which, you know what's funny? You know who designed the menu for the new MW2? This is quite a coinky-dink here, but the current UI UX director for Infinity Ward was previously none other than Hulu's director for user experience product design. Audience, damn. Because of this, I would like to call these visual designs for menus the Hulu menus, where the entire screen is corporate, no flavor, meant to be non-offensive for anyone, but at the same time soulless. And while these menus are bland like the med designs, at least the med designs have some soul behind them. I'd rather have a Bethesda menu than like these boxes. Like, I get these boxes out of my face. Oh no. Now the Hulu-esque Hulu menus, I've seen being used quite a bit, but not as much as the next design I'm going to tell you. Okay. Again, Doom. I don't hate this game. It just happens to be a great example of the things I hate. This design, while better than the Hulu one, it's purely superficial. Nothing of use other than just showing off that sweet gamer microtransaction. I was more familiar with this menu for Borderlands because, I mean, yeah, that's a looter shooter game. That's the whole point. So I'll refer to this menu as Borderlands-esque. Borderland-esque menus are as follows. Toss the player model on the screen with your customized drip on it, have the menu on the sides, maybe a queue system in the center, and oh boy, I'm getting real sick of it now. While this is mostly popular for battle royale games, it seems like all games just like blend together now. Just change the fonts, the songs, and boom, you got yourself another game. With the current market of games, it makes sense. Everyone loves their skins, agents. I mean, people literally sink so much money in one game that of course they would want to see their rare, succulent items when they boot up the game. I might come off like a boomer, but when it came to getting a different character model or weapon skin, I mean, you would get it by completing challenges and playing the game. Back then, it was like, wouldn't it be cool if you got a silly little skin by beating the game on Legendary? I mean, yeah, sure, it would be cool. And now when you boot a game up, it just shoves a whole ad on the menu. And it's like, wouldn't it be cool if you give us $20 fucking dollars? In older titles, the announcement of new DLCs was more tame. Unlock the new Griffin character voiced by Ice-T for Gears 3? Oh, thank you, Epic Games. Oh, you know what? I think Epic Games might end up alright in the future. In my opinion, menus like these are probably what slowly shifts our perspective of games over time. Maybe the reason why people don't care about menus anymore is because most AAA titles don't even try to make it look good, but rather they just use it as a disguise for a billboard. If the things we have left to look forward to are just all the same bland things that snatch money from our wallets, you know, I don't believe we're gonna be any happier. I know this sounds too negative, but when they're raking in billions of dollars and we're given this in return?
Playtime is over when Nikki drops in.
I'm gonna end off this video on another topic that I believe this is what launches a game's menu into being remembered forever. This is the part where I'm going to enjoy talking about because this, in my opinion, is the most important feature. To have a responsive menu.
A responsive menu. I told her I loved her but she responded how did you get into my house?
A lot of older folks will tell you that the Mario 64 menu really changed the game on what a menu could even be. It was a showcase of the 3D graphics of the time. The next jump for Mario where you could stretch the face around and like create this an abomination really. But the interactiveness, this feature of the menu responding to your actions, it's the equivalent of coming back home and someone greeting you in return. That, to me, is what creates a special connection to a game. It could be a menu that responds to how far you've gone in a campaign. My favorite examples of this would be Half-Life 2 or Spec Ops: The Line. Both of these games change the background in response to your story progression, achieving not a static menu, but a menu that feels alive and more a part of your gameplay. Left 4 Dead 2 has that with backgrounds from each campaign with different instruments matching them too. Apart from the backgrounds, developers can go a step further, like Metal Gear Solid 3, an iconic sequence of CQC with you being able to reverse, speed up, and slow it down, you know, to really study the CQC. It's that attention of detail that a developer does to add more flavor to your experience that changes everything.
Did you like it?
When it comes to one of, if not the most responsive menu to your actions, I will have to give it to Detroit Become Human. You're greeted with your Android waifu every time you boot up the game, and you feel this slow, steady connection with your Android Chloe. Now Chloe will interact with you directly, speaking to you, responding to whatever action you just took, and even pranking you at sometimes.
Oops, I think your saved game is corrupted. Just kidding.
But once you complete the game, once you've gone through all the experience, you are given this question.
Do you agree to let me go?
And if you respond yes,
I'll never forget what you've done for me. Thank you.
and she never comes back. But you know what? I think it's time to actually show the magnum opus menu. You know what's my most favorite menu ever? One that has each and every great feature in this video? Maybe a few of you guys already know what I'm gonna say next. But to me, my most favorite menu has to be this right here. This, I haven't seen a menu do it all so spectacularly before. An in-world menu where you could look around, the art design, the direction of it all, an interrogation, a wall of TVs, a shadow man asking you about numbers. When I booted this game up for the first time, I was like shocked, to say the least. Comparing this to the previous COD title, Modern Warfare 2, there we go, that one. Jumping from that to this, in about a year? What an ankle breaker of a move it took. It doesn't stop there though. You could just look around, break from the cuffs and walk around, play with your Commodore. What's something I like more that isn't as popular when people talk about this menu is the fact that it's connected to where you are in the campaign. Throughout the campaign, you're just stuck in the chair until the final missions when all is revealed on what's going on, and then you just break free This part is amazing because I feel like for most players, they see this menu area as an untouchable, unchangeable thing. But once you go through the campaign, it happens at a moment when Mason starts breaking free of the brain rewiring, which parallels to breaking free from this menu area. I mean, dude, the interactiveness of this menu, I mean, this is what makes it, to me, my all-time favorite menu. And the cherry on top is that zombies version of it, in which everything turns to spooky mode, zombie footage on the TVs, and then right from the window. And that piano has the cultural equivalence to the to the printing press. When I come back to this game 13 years later, the memories attached to this menu come back as if I was playing it for the first time. And yes, I didn't make that up, Black Ops 1 is going to be 13 years old. If that makes you feel old, you know what, dude, I recommend you open a Roth IRA account. While a menu will take you about 2 seconds to skip through it, it's crucial to be aware that its importance of representing the cover, the shell of the game you're playing, will carry on for a lifetime if done correctly. It's not a Twitter feed for the company, but it's a space for a player to attach an image in their minds for a cherished game they play. And going back to it, this is the conflict I have with Dead Space, both the original and the remake. While I'm remembering the cover of the original Dead Space, both memories of playing both games just mashing. But if I were to choose which one I have a better image of, surprisingly, it'd be the it'd be the OG Dead Space, okay? I don't know why I messed up, fuck. Developers should respect the art of the menu. Erasing that part of the art has such a detrimental result to how much of an impact a game could make to a player. A cover to a piece of literature might be taken for granted, as it's just as important as what lies inside of it. If illustrations never existed, how would we remember certain literature we know today? And now, if iconic menus never existed, how different would our opinions be of those older titles? Or maybe the better question is, how would we even remember them? It sounds like a stupid question, but if we were to exist today without those menus we grew up with, what would happen? I mean, think about it, right? Think about one of your most beloved games you grew up playing. Go search it up right now. Go search it up right now. I'm not even kidding. Do that shit right now. Now look at its menu. Whether it's a simple or interactive menu, it will make you feel nostalgic. And now imagine, if you will, what if?
And these are just more bundles at the bottom. They're really trying to get you to buy stuff.